been emailing a lot of YouTubers, and I'll send them like a short list of movies. And I'm like, hey, you want to talk about any of these movies? It's like, oh, I like what you guys are doing, but I haven't seen any of these fucking movies you just sent me. I'm like, oh,
and then
cool.
also, too, at that point, you're like, bro, why are you even doing YouTube? What do you mean you haven't?
Exactly. I don't
where
want these
were
people
you?
on anyway. You need to give me their names.
Are you even YouTube?
You need to give me their names.
Yeah.
And then I'll know whether or not you should feel bad about that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Who gave you a channel? Like, what are you doing?
They don't
I'm
get
like, have you heard of
cartoons, watch
Tupac? And they're like, I mean, I've heard of 2 Chainz. And I'm like, don't you dare ever say anything. Don't come around my way with that bullshit.
But if looks could kill does not fit into that category.
I got words for this movie.
Hello, you beautiful nerds. I'm Jedi Master Grayson.
And I'm your favorite cousin's favorite cousin, Bill.
And welcome to Does It
Hold?
The show where we revisit classic genre films to see if they're as good or as bad as we remember.
And we may get drunk while we do it. But as always, we can't do it alone.
That's right. We are joined as always by a special guest to help us determine if this film stands the test of time.
Is it?
He's the host. Oh, yeah, we're going to get into that. He's the host of the Unfiltered Bachelor Podcast, and you can catch him hosting the live stream over at the 9 Nerd Yards channel, YouTube channel, where they talk about all kinds of nerdy shit like Ahsoka, Atlanta, and The Idol. He's got looks that could kill. Money, Blakeweather, what's good, Money?
What up, dog?
Stop it. Stop it. What? This old toupee right here. What is? Stop it.
Yeah, we should put that in his bio. Well coiffed hair.
Well coiffed hair. He does
Jimmy
always
Johnson
come through with the
haircut.
fresh cuts. I gotta say. Oh man,
I am your favorite cousin's favorite Mexican. How is everybody doing?
tip top, bro.
Great, man. Doing great.
I
Thank
love
you for popping in.
Yeah, man. Always a pleasure to have you through. I love introducing you because I just like saying "what's good, Money" and it not being like ironic. It's just
it's never ironic. It's like
I love it.
The 90s. It's just the 90s throwback to saying "what's good." Nigga.
Right. But since I can't say the N-word, then I just say money, right? Then like that, it works. People know. They're like, oh, okay, like it works. Yeah, fill in the gaps.
Got the same number of consonants. You know, you're right.
Somebody said I can't say the N-word the other day, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, what if they physically just couldn't say the N-word?
Right. Like a liar situation.
It's like a mental thing.
Mental
like,
block.
They're like,
I say my man a lot, and I don't think people like on streams like realize like that's just the way I talk. Like even in text form with you guys, like I just say, "My man, how's it going? My man, this."
Right, yeah.
And somebody said they commented at a point when I said "my man" on one of the streams that we did, and they're like, "He want to say the N-word real bad right there."
Oh my god!
Yo, relax,
and I was just like, I mean, I can't, but if I was black, I probably would right then and there. Like,
yeah, I probably
that was a good
moment
moment
up right there. You know,
it's well placed. Well placed.
I'll tell you what. I'm pretty sure there's some my mans in this movie that we saw today.
For sure.
I'm not gonna lie. There might be some. What's up, my man? Like, oh, that's my man.
Speaking of which, Bill, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about the 1991 action comedy "If Looks Could Kill," starring Richard Grieco.
Rico.
Grieco?
Richard
Is that like a
Grieco.
fake Mexican name?
No, I think it's Italian. Italian.
Italian? Okay, well look, I'm gonna.
And the only reason
I'm gonna start over.
Only reason I know how to pronounce his name is because I watched Night at the Roxbury, and I have a whole story about that when it gets to my turn.
Okay.
Today we are talking about the 1991 action comedy "If Looks Could Kill," starring Richard Grieco, Linda Hunt, Roger Reese, and Robin Bartlett. Alex, how did you feel about this movie? I'm sorry, I'm doing my Roger Ebert or my Siskel. I don't know.
And we'll talk about their takes in a little bit too, because they were interestingly divided. But yeah, this movie was directed by William Deere, who directed a good number of hits in the 80s and 90s. Harry and the Hendersons, Journey to the Center of the World, and Angels in the Outfield. All those. That's a very good
all
question.
All of those are on the list,
right? Yeah, all those seem like doesn't hold up contenders.
Every movie that's directed has been on Does It Hold Up?
William Deere, if you want to come on the show, please do.
Hi, William Deere. You might have seen me in such TV shows as Does It Hold Up?
I love that William Deere is just basically Troy McClure.
He's just Troy McClure, and I love it.
But
R.I.P. Phil Hartman.
Oh man, R.I.P. But Blake, since you are our guest of honor, how did you feel about this movie the first time you watched it? Is this your first time? And did you watch as a kid? How did you feel?
Yeah, first of all, I was years old when I watched this movie. I felt like you, and I don't go into movies like this, but I hadn't watched the trailer for this one, so I had no idea what I was getting into. I just saw the movie cover. I saw Richard Grieco. I have not seen Richard Grieco in anything besides 2 episodes of 21 Jump Street and Night at the Roxbury, which is a classic 90s movie. I think that needs to be on the list of Does It Hold Up?
Oh, that's a good candidate.
But in that movie, he is like the Hollywood character that like they see at the club and they're like, we want to hang out, we want to be like, and we want to hang out with Richard Grieco. And he ends up taking the brothers to the Roxbury Club. I'm not ruining anything because that doesn't give away what happens in the movie. But anyways, those are like I'd only seen Richard Grieco at 21 Jump Street and Night at the Roxbury. So I know he was some sort of 80s, early 90s heartthrob. He's a good looking cat. But like, yeah. Oh no, Richard, here's my piece. But I have a lot of words for this movie. It's the 80s wanting to be the 90s, and it's the 90s wanting to be the 80s in this movie, in the best and worst of ways. I don't know sometimes what I was watching. I was like, oh, this is one of them 80s, like, feel good, like Breakfast Club, like, oh, it's a kid, he's in high school, he's graduating, he's the goofy one, right? He's got his headphones, he's too cool for school, check him out. And then like all of a sudden it turns spy shit. I'm like, I'm watching this on YouTube and I'm like flipping back. I'm like, did this turn into a different movie? Did somebody click the wrong thing? Is this like a bootleg James Bond that I never saw in the 80s?
Yes.
And the answer to all that is yes. The answer to every single question is is bootleg James Bond. And it is
all
a feel-good 80s.
Yes movie, yeah, for sure.
Alex was trying to explain to me what it was. This is my first time seeing this movie. But actually, watching it, I realize it's not the first time I've seen this movie.
Okay.
But producer P, come on. Producer Penny, calm down. Sorry, producer problems.
She's trying to get the lighting right in the behind the scenes.
BTS.
Yeah.
But
we got producer T he does the same thing.
He does the same thing. But,
Terry, P on the P pad. Terry, stop moving the light. Come on, Terry.
Shout out to Terry. I hope you're watching right now.
Right.
And if you're not, this is what happens when you don't watch. We can talk about it. But yeah, man, it was my first time watching this, and it was my first time rewatching this. I hadn't seen it in a long time. It was the poker scene that made me realize, or the blackjack scene that made me realize, I seen
Baccarat.
Baccarat.
Was it
like
Baccarat?
Russian
blackjack?
Is it Russian blackjack or European?
I don't know. They're gonna go bootleg James Bond, then it's Baccarat. So I heard that in my head.
I thought he said blackjack at the end, but I mean, he was getting everything.
He tried to play 21, and they were like, "Bro, what are you doing?
Like,
Stop it!"
Right. Well, look, that just shows that I'm like in basically the same intelligence level as Richard Grieco. I am Richard Grieco.
Richard, get off of this podcast. We're trying to talk about. You stop it right now.
Corbin, baby.
Very common name.
No, yeah, but it made me think of. Alex described it to me as James Bond Jr. in a movie,
which sorry,
I'm just gonna set it up. I mean, James Bond Jr. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it or seen it. It was an animated TV show in which the logistics of how this kid is James Bond Jr.
I love
stupid.
that. I also want to take that theory up just a notch and just think about like maybe this is the origin of Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in True Lies, and then he just grew up and became Austrian. So or whatever he is, right? Like
yeah, no, that might be the case. Well, James Bond Jr. was
the cartoon.
He was James Bond's nephew.
Yeah, which makes no sense that he was junior.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I don't know how it works in London or in British UK. Yo, if y'all know, put it in the comments.
How suffixes work in the UK? Is it because it's a different time zone, or is it because it's different? Is it like when you flush the toilet above and below the equator, the water spins different? Is that how
right? If my sister has a kid and she names him Bill, is it Bill? Can he be Bill Jr. just because he's the first Bill? I mean, first Bill after me?
Yeah.
Only if it's in the UK. Only if it's in the UK.
Only if it's in the UK. That's right. Only if he's a spy or a double agent or double O.
Or maybe it's just like James Bond's a liar. He's like, oh no, that's my nephew.
Yeah.
Hush up, little girl. A lot of kids got that name.
Yeah, Octopussy is his mama, you know.
Money Penny, shut up.
Here's a little taste of James Bond Jr.
Ooh. Is he British in this too? Or is he a little American?
Y'all have no idea. I could sing that whole thing by myself, man.
Oh man,
James
Bond Jr.
Oh my god! What?
And James Bond Jr. came out in 1991. James Bond Jr. came out in 1991. It must be one of those weird situations where it's just like collective consciousness, because this movie also came out in 91. But this had to have a big influence of why I cared. Like this had such a big impact on me as a kid, because I must have seen this in like 92, 93, because I saw it at home. Like little insight, when I was a kid, I used to just stay up real late so I could we just got cable, so I was like, let me see if I can catch some late night porn. And for like I stayed up late, and most of the time I would just end up catching like stand-up comedy specials.
Looking for porn in all the wrong places.
Look for porn in all the wrong places.
Oh man.
I mean, even Stevie Wonder could see what he was doing right there.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, I remember catching this movie like, maybe like 20 minutes in and just being enamored with it, because I was like, oh man, this is live action James Bond Jr. This is kind of crazy.
Something that was not syndicated enough for us, I'm just saying. They could have put that out. Where's the reruns? Where's
the James Bond Jr.?
We got the documents prove they've been trying to keep James Bond Jr. under wraps since the early 90s. We all know that they're plans of global domination. We already know. We got the documents proof.
We already know, man. I don't even think you can get it on DVD anymore, like at all.
Wow.
Not anymore. I don't think you can get it on DVD. I don't think
I can find out eBay. I bet.
Maybe I think there's like some Japanese copies or Korean copies that are dubbed, or I think they actually have the actual original voices, but yeah, it's hard to find them, man. Hard to find.
Yeah,
what's that space TV show that we used to watch?
Space Cases?
No, where the animated show where it was a limited series where the dude.
Ooh, I know what you're talking about. We have to. I forget. I completely forget the name of that show every time we bring it up, and it's amazing.
But we can do that. We can cover that later. We can cover that another time. There's only one season.
But yeah, just to talk about this movie.
Let's talk about what we're talking about.
Yeah, let's talk about what we're talking about.
Dive right in.
The Rotten Tomatoes score for this is 29% critic score, 50% audience score. Let's just to give a quick background on what the movie is about. Before he can graduate, cocky high school student Michael Corbin, played by Richard Grieco, travels to France on a school trip to earn a missing French credit. But when a British intelligence agent mistakes Michael for a spy of the same name, they rush him to headquarters and assign him to capture the evil Augustus Storenko, played by Roger Rees, using a plethora of espionage gadgetry.
Yeah.
So, like, I want to talk to you guys about this movie.
organized gadgetry. I hope you didn't write that.
I did not. I stole that straight from Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. And you know what? This is why I just want to remind everyone, this is why we started this show, is because Rotten Tomatoes, man, they've got some movies on there that I think are great. We think are great.
Yeah.
And they got terrible ratings. Yeah. They also got some movies on there that have some really weird ratings that make you go,
Yeah. Does it? Oh, no.
So we have to ask ourselves. Yeah, we have to ask these questions. So yeah, go ahead and set these people.
Well, no, I was just curious about how you guys felt about it, because we talked a little bit about the James Bond influence. Oh, we're gonna dive more into it. But yeah, well, how did you guys feel about just the James Bond influence? Obviously, and this is coming out in a time where teens are cool, and Ninja Turtles teens just came out, and teens are still radical.
There are no cool teens. I don't know where y'all in the world.
But what did you feel how did you feel about infusing the James Bondness into just this teenage fascination that we had in the early 90s? Blake.
I thought it was I got it, and I was there was okay, so I'm watching the car chase scene right now, and he's accidentally pressing buttons. He's like, I don't know what this do. I'm a press a button, blah, 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 blah. And I was all right, no, it's cute. It's cute into a point. Stupidity is cute into a point, and I think I see the idea that they're going for. And it's very cheesy, corny, 80s, yada yada. But I feel pick a direction, either lean full silly, or lean put a little bit more make it a little bit more action drama, right. And then with a little bit of comedy, not I'm a comedy, but also I'm a cool action, and I am a teen. Bleh.
Yes, I completely agree. I mean, well, first of all. I did not think I was gonna like this movie at all going into it. So I did some research, and I was like, let me see what Roger Ebert and Siskel thought about this when it came out. So I went on YouTube. Apparently, you can go look up every episode of their show.
Ebert.
Yeah, you can watch every single episode on YouTube. Somebody's bootlegged it if you haven't bootlegged it. You gonna pull up what they said?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay. Well, because I don't need to mess up the quote. But yeah, I was like, let me look and see what they had to say about this movie. So, Alex, roll that
roll tide
bean. Roll tide.
Also, yes.
I can't hear it. Nobody can hear it. Do we need to hear it?
Oops. Okay.
Do that over.
Let's say it again. Alex, roll that beautiful beat.
Our next film is called If Looks Could Kill, and this is sort of an adolescent James Bond action picture starring Richard Grieco from the TV show Booker as a smart aleck teenager student who takes a trip to Paris with his high school French class only to be mistaken as an American spy.
I mean, check this out. Here's my driver's license, my school ID, my fake ID. Listen. I got a great idea. Why don't we track down Mrs. Grover, my French...
So I'm just gonna pause it just for YouTube reasons. And I'm about to let it go back in, but I've just found out a lot of fair use laws, so I know that we're good right now. So hey, and I won our first YouTube dispute. First one put in, first one wins, and here we go.
I mean, she'll tell you I'm
your car.
Michael Corbin, deep cover operative with the CIA.
The kid gets a girlfriend naturally to help him in his adventures as he tries to escape the bad guy's dungeon using some exploding chewing gum. Wow.
Ooh.
Where is he?
Oh,
come on, step on it.
That's not good enough for you, sister. I bet you liked it when they did it in
Mission Impossible 5 years later. Bitch, with your chewing gum.
Oh, that wasn't the review, though. That wasn't the review.
Yeah, it cut off. Yeah,
I will just basically say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
He basically made some good points. It was one of the least harsh reviews that they do.
Mm-hmm.
They gave Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Return of the Ooze, a way worse rating. But they basically just made a point on how that made the same point that that Blake just made, which is they made teenagers look dumb, and I don't think teenagers was that dumb back then.
Yeah,
maybe in the 80s. This is 1991, people. You know what I mean? Like it's just different type of brains going on, man. And like just pushing every button in a car doesn't make the windows go down. Now, to be fair, the windows didn't go down when he hit the window down button. And what kind of window down button is on the dashboard? I don't know. But I never driven a spy car before. But I know if the car is telling me what I'm doing. Right, I'm not gonna. I'm like if the car says missile armed, I'm gonna hit that button back to where it was.
At least gonna stop pressing buttons.
Exactly. Like
not gonna be like, oh, missile on. What does that mean? Is that a regular missile? Is that... Oh, you just don't. You're talking French. I don't speak French. I'm gonna press another button.
If I shoot a rocket and a chicken coop blows up, or at least a fucking shed with a bunch of chickens in it blows up, I'm just gonna stop hitting buttons.
It's literally if Mr. Magoo was in fucking high school, like, bro, like that's how he acts. Like it's just very,
he does.
I don't know, man. That's just what I call it. Okay, I'm gonna say this. This is cool. It's a fun scene.
Windows,
bro.
Yo.
Oh.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Blake was right. That was a fun scene. And
it's fun.
When the cars were like weaving in and out of traffic.
I was crazy.
The car stunts were actually very impressive.
I'm sure somebody would disagree. The people who were driving the cars, they were probably like, "Yo, that's the worst set I've ever been on."
Nobody cared about regulations.
Somebody is telling their grandkid where they shoot this in UK. Somebody's telling their grandkid like right now, like, let me tell you about the time I was a stunt driver in this movie. There was no seat belts in the car. They wanted me to drive head on to Richard Grieco, and he was like, "Oh, I'm a high school star. I'm a and I almost had to hit him, and it's crazy." I also too, I think to your point, you brought up the gum. It works. It works in a movie like Mission Impossible, right? Mm-hmm. Also, too, the element of like being so stupid that like you're smart works really well in a movie like The Man Who Knew Too Little with Bill Murray. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite like just comedy movies and one of his movies, but it works well in that so much because you're like, that's believable. This guy totally doesn't even know anything about what's going on. And like, there's not like a car telling him like, hey, this is a missile. Hey, this is he doesn't like take like, normal things and be like, well, it must mean this because I'm so stupid. So like there's elements of this movie that work in other movies, but until they pick a direction with this one, it doesn't all kind of work together. It's sort of like you know what it is? It's like when white people make casserole, which I don't know why they keep doing. I don't know why they keep making casserole. But this
Somebody
is like
stop them.
Stop the white people from making a casserole.
Hey, what do y'all think? Do white people need to stop making casseroles? Let us know in the comments.
I went to an Easter thing a few years ago, and it was like an Easter gathering with a whole bunch of friends and stuff. And like, I was like, what should I bring? And and like I saw the list of what people were bringing, and there's a whole bunch of white people going, and they brought like, here's a breakfast casserole, here's a sausage casserole, here's like a brunch casserole. I'm like, bro, why white people just bring a casserole? It's like, bring the food. Like, I don't want to eat none of that shit. So like that's what this reminds me of. Is like white people made an 80s and 90s, like late 80s, early 90s casserole, and they're like, you know what works well? High schoolers. You know what works even weller? They said Weller. You know it works even Weller. They said spy shit. You know it works even Weller is like spy shit with cars and like missiles and like and the kid girls. he's a stupid and then he looks like Die Hard by the end. This is gonna be great. And the bad guy has gold. Like this is gonna like they just casserole this shit together.
Dog, you just said some also a villain's gotta have a dungeon. Right.
Yeah.
Every villain gotta have a
Got
dungeon.
chain? Does he got chains in the dungeon? He needs to have a dungeon with chains. Like
He's in some
let's do
fucking
this.
French cottage, fucking not cottage, but like a French mansion somewhere in the middle of the country.
With
and they got a dungeon up underneath there. Like, what was y'all doing in here? Like, was this a Nazi camp or something? Like, I don't know. Because it just seems really weird for.
And then even in the beginning part where they're like, somebody had the idea. They're like, it'd be really cool. I love all of that. I love what you're doing there, Ken. But what we're also going to do is we're going to add James, like a James Bond guy, but he dies. And somebody in there was like, that's fire. Let's totally do it.
That wasn't so unnecessary. Like that scene could have really not been in the movie other than like the female love interest. I guess it was her dad. And I guess it was a way to show how formidable I guess the villains are.
Well, hold on. That let's just talk about the villains.
Go ahead, Ken. Go ahead. Tell me what
yes.
was.
Yeah, let's talk
about the villains real quick, because that is the part that blew my mind.
Yeah, they had the sheriff from Robin Hood Men in Tights, and I was like, dude, I didn't know he did more stuff. This is great.
Yeah, Richard Reese. Yeah.
Yes, that's one of our mom's favorite actors. But this dude comes in like last British action hero, busts through the window. What kind of spy shit is that? Where does that fall into spy? That is SWAT. Yeah, he came in as SWAT, one man SWAT against 5 people in this room, and he just jumps through the window and expects nothing to happen. And he looks at this short lady and underestimates her. That's where he messed up, Alex.
Yeah. That's literally what happens in Kingsman. That's how when you watch the beginning of Kingsman and like a Kingsman dies and you're like, the lady killed him somehow or something. You know what I mean? Like they had to have like taken that idea and been like, this makes sense.
And Mission Impossible had to take the gum thing from this.
Right. Yeah.
But also, I just now realized when you were playing that old Lurch motherfucker lost his hand to Blade.
Right, yeah. Blade, he lost his hand.
But why did Lurch have a glove on already, though?
Yeah, that's true. His glove was just his look.
He had a big-ass robot glove on before he had a robot hand. So I don't know, man.
He was like when he was in the car and he was like scratching the asphalt, and I'm like, this dude got a robot hand, or he's got like some little golden finger pieces or something.
Because I didn't remember it, but Alex just pulled it up where he actually lost his hand. Like he lost it at the very beginning.
Okay,
right before Blade busted in and got his ass whooped. Like what kind of spy he does?
That was. I see.
And I didn't know he was going to be a major part of the movie later.
Yeah,
I just thought that was
his death scene or whatever. Yeah,
I thought that was it for him.
It's like doop 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 doop. He drives away.
But yeah. Well, before we get into the villains, because I do want to really talk about
show that lady whooping his ass.
Actually, let's talk about that first.
Because I do want to talk villains.
Because I want to talk about the influence of what you guys were talking about before. But yeah, this is the scene with the incredible Linda Hunt is fighting Blade, basically
Wesley
James Bond.
Oh, he's the white Wesley Snipes. If he's Blade, I don't even know like Blade. Oh man, it's
such a weird.
Why is it not like we talk about Blade and we're like, oh, that's cool because we think about Wesley Snipes, and then we see this Blade and we're like, yo, this is lame.
This is literally the definition of when you're like, Mom, I want to watch Blade. She's like, we can play it at home.
We got Blade out.
And Blade, this is James
White,
Blonde.
Mom.
Yeah.
Just to leave before you start an international incident.
You mean like the one you're planning?
If this is a business call, you need an appointment.
Maybe next time.
There will be no next.
Oh! Damn!
She is fucking surgical with that.
Now, I feel like he was kind of smiling when he pulled out the gun, like, whatever, bitch.
Yeah.
Vases don't hit back. And then she was like, and he was like, oh. Like, whoa, what's going on? This little bitty ass lady finna kill me.
Yeah, I know you're gonna aim for my weapon. Damn.
This would have never happened to Black Blade. Yeah.
Sure enough, wouldn't have. He ain't gonna get killed by no little midget vampire lady.
Yeah, the Daywalker isn't getting stopped.
Or a little person vampire lady. I guess Linda Hunt's not a little person. She's just real small.
Yeah, she's just really small. Speaking of which, what did you guys think of Linda Hunt and Richard Reese as the villains in this movie? Because they're like iconic character actors
Can I go first
in the weirdest roles
because mine's
ever.
quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Wait. I just have Linda Hunt comments, and then I'm just still gonna throw it off to Blake.
All right.
I didn't know Linda Hunt always been an old lady.
Always. She was born that way. Yeah.
I didn't know that. So it's Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, I was about to say she had the Morgan Freeman.
It's was it Steve Buscemi?
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
And Barbara Walters.
Yeah.
And Linda Hunt.
Yeah.
And Ed Asner.
Oh, and Ed Asner. Yeah. He's always been old.
Their age just caught up with their body. That's all that happened.
That is all it is. That's all that happened. That is all that happened.
They had great knees. They had great knees at this age and everything. They're just their age has caught up with their body. Like that's it.
Yeah, Blake, what'd you think about these villains?
Yeah, no, they were pretty villainous. Like there was some villainish, bro. Again, this movie, the part of the cast, sometimes parts of cast roles are good, and having like a very unassuming, short lady with like a little accent or whatever. She's the principal from. I should just always be the principal from Kindergarten Cop for me. But I saw her like that, and I'm like, oh, they got the principal in here, and she busts out a little chain. She's like, ha! Like starts whipping people.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, like I was just like that. There's a lot of like unassuming things, and I'm like, that's a really cool concept. It looks very cheesy and corny in here, but I love the concept. I love the thought of that. Again, there's a lot of things in here. I'm like, I love the concept of that. I love like a high schooler getting mixed up, whatever. The bad guy in here, he's typical like spy bad guy. He's good at card games. He kills people for gold. He's got a fortress. And he's got minions. What more? And he's got some sort of sexy assistant lady. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Don't forget. He got a sexy assassin lady.
Leaning into the bad guy trope, right? Like they had. I mean, obviously, whoever watches James Bond fan because they leaned into the whole aspect of like naming the bad guy lady like some sort of sex name or something like that. Her name's Areola.
We had to rewind it because we were like, Bill's like, is his name Ariel?
I said, that bitch said her name is Areola. And Alex didn't say nothing, so I was like, did she say her name? And he was like, I don't know.
She might as well just said, my name is Nipples. You know what I mean? Like,
this girl's name is Titty. That is her name. Her name is Titty. Like, that is her name. I did like how, I never even got her name, what Linda Hunt's character's name was.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
I can't remember.
I also wasn't sure what their relationship was. Were they
were not
brother and sister? Or
I felt like
a kid, I thought they were mother and son. I don't know why.
Yeah, it just felt like she was like, oh, I taught you this and I taught you that. So it's almost like a Sith Lord. I just looked at her like a Sith Lord.
That's
and she's just sort of like, this is my Padawan or whatever. Like, and he's just like, Sith. I'm real evil. Yeah. Like the Sith.
He
Rule of two.
Kind of took her, he betrayed her. Like he killed her. He killed her. Yeah.
Look, his betrayal is out there. There's way you betray people, but he killed her.
He killed her
with a T. And see, like I liked her character, like at the very beginning. She's a master of disguise, right? Like she gets on the airplane as a stewardess. All right. Well, it was a stewardess back then, y'all. So look, don't get up on me. It's 1991, okay? We're in 1991 right now. And she pretends to be the flight attendant, and then she murks.
Oh yeah,
real Michael Corbin. Which that's also, right. I'm like, yo, Corbin Dallas? Every time they said Michael Corbin.
I thought Michael Corbin.
Michael Corbin Dallas.
Michael Corbin Dallas. So, yeah,
can I just add a little bit to you? Did she kill the black guy on the plane?
That's what I was about to say. So, she gave him the little cocktail because she found out he was the asset and then killed him. And I was like, bruh, You're supposed to be a spy, my guy. You took the French teacher and put the motherfucking magnum to her head in the bathroom.
Like it was nothing.
But you're just going to take drinks from random people that you didn't even ask for. Like,
right.
I feel like that's...
But is he dead? Did they say he was dead, or were they like trying to wake him? I never saw him again.
Oh, no, he died because old girl, the flight attendant, she found him. And she's like, sir, it's time for you to get your black ass out of here.
Okay.
He was like that.
Deleted scene. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. That was a cut scene. They cut to a different part. I got the director's cut though.
On
eBay.
And Blake, you had mentioned earlier, just like the weird, I guess, influence of like how I kind of had a similar thing that happened at the beginning of Kingsman.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good opportunity to talk about the influence of this movie, because you had also mentioned that Mission Impossible, the first Mission Impossible, they stole the
red light, green light
gum. Yeah. Hasta lasagna, don't get any on you. Yeah,
that's right.
And I was kind of surprised, like, wow, this is in this movie first. And I'm curious if you guys got these same vibes when I saw this movie this time. Because when I was watching it, I was thinking, oh man, this has really weird Spider-Man Far From Home vibes. And I just typed in if looks could kill, Spider-Man Far From Home on YouTube just to see if I was the only person who had this like thought. And
the answer is no.
The answer is no.
Are you about to play another content creator stuff?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna play all this stuff. But shout out to this guy who I'm not gonna look up his name. But
he's not at the bottom, isn't it? It's not the channel.
Yeah, I could very clearly look it up right now.
Definitely have to say the name. That is a part of the thing.
Couch Tea. All right, shout out to Couch Tea.
Shout out to Couch
Tea. Y'all go check out his ish.
But yeah, high school hero, class trip to Europe, underage drinking, crush on the girl on the plane, teacher wants him to change something, romance after sitting next to each other, mistaken identity for another spy, terrorist attacks, and he almost blows up his class as well.
Oh,
like
yeah.
With the
yeah.
It's like there's so many times in this movie where I was like, did the director of Far From Home watch If Looks Could Kill?
Or is the writer from... It was one of the writers from Looks
Could Kill. Well, that would be hilarious.
It's funny. He was probably like in a hotel and like the movie came on and like he was like, I have to hit my deadline. I have to turn the script in by tomorrow. And then like he's just like, oh my God. By the end of it, he's like, I got it. And then he goes in and nobody has seen this movie and they're like, you're a genius. And then they come back and they watch that YouTube channel and they're like, I wish I could go back in time to fire you because you stole all this shit.
You stole all this shit. See, I think what's more likely is that a producer was talking to a writer, and that writer was sitting just like this, and that producer was telling him everything that he wanted out of the movie, and that writer said, "Nigga, that's If Looks Could Kill."
And he's like, so I should write it.
Exactly. He was just like, well, he was like, I can do that. I can do that. And as soon as the producer stopped talking, he was, I got it.
I can do that.
I can do that. Yeah. Also, how long is it going to take you? 2 weeks. It take me 2.5.
Give me a bottle of whiskey. I'll have it done in 2 days.
It'll take you 2 days, but you tell him 2 weeks so you can get that check.
Get a little check. I like
the producer walks up to the writer and is like, hey, I was up last night. I was trying to find some porn, but I found this movie.
No, you don't give away your sources.
Hear me out now. Hear me out. This is great. Real quick to your point before we end on bad guys, this bad guy is vicious. The one with the one hand, he's very angry because he blows up a room with a rocket launcher. Like, bro, you could shoot a pistol. You know you don't have to carry a rocket launcher with you in a room to try and blow up somebody. Like, I just thought there's so many preposterous things where I'm like, that is the best way to kill somebody in a hotel room is to just cut a hole and then put a rocket launcher and then just shoot it. Like, I don't know. I guess like that's how you would kill like an ant farm. Like you would you would just set the whole ant farm on fire, I guess. But
Yeah, because
kill, I don't know. I just thought that was a bit overkill.
Dude, no, yeah, he set gasoline to an ant farm. That's exactly what happened. First of all, this whole scene was crazy to me. So I'm just gonna pull it up because this is insane. Sorry, no dead air.
Oh my god! I just knocked a little dude out.
She got the scorpion in her back. He's trying to get
the fact he's looking for a condom is hilarious.
He's trying to get the French condom open. Like what?
I wonder what he thinks is going on. Like,
yeah,
she's dancing. It's like
he's clearly not had sex before.
Right.
Because he's looking for the condom and looking at her do this and thinking, yeah, girl.
Yeah, she's clearly into it. Yeah.
She a freak. Now, right here, she looks like she is a freak.
Makes me wonder where the scorpion went at this point.
Oh, shit.
In her back, apparently.
Yeah,
or
it
something.
went down her back and it's just stabbing the hell out of her.
Yeah, I mean, well, at that point on the bed, like.
But also, I think the scorpion can only stab you one time, and then I think like a
you die from one scorpion sting? I thought it takes many.
Well, she did many. That is crazy, sir.
That is overkill.
He didn't even wait a second to be like, hey, is the plan going good? Or have you killed him yet? Like, nothing like that.
Yeah, so, yeah, no. I was like, yo, he didn't like Areola.
Yeah.
Areola didn't give him a pee-pee touch one day, and he was like, you know what? He came in like it was Columbine and just shot up everything. Like, that was... look, I don't know if it's too soon for Columbine.
This is too soon.
We only had 3,000 shootings since Columbine, but, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that was...
But dude came in with a trench coat and a fucking... And a rocket launcher, like, come on, man, bro. What gets more Columbine than that? That's fucking crazy. This dude's crazy, man.
It's fucking crazy. And
Lurch. We call him Lurch. Never heard him with a name. Never heard his actual name. I'm sure I heard it,
matter.
But I don't. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But it also plays into that like monstrous villain in a James Bond movie, like Jaws or
yeah, he's like what's to do with the hat?
Odd
Job.
Yeah, we be on the same wavelength because I was about to say the Asian dude with the hat.
Yeah, he's the head minion. He's the head minion, right? Like you always have like the lieutenant commander, right? You got the Cobra commander, and then you got the lieutenant commander, and you always need a good lieutenant commander.
Yeah, you do always need a good lieutenant commander, unless you have a clique commander. You have a commander of the clique, then you're good to go. Baby.
We all know that's fake. We don't know.
We all know that's not a real thing. No. Let me tell you, let me jump into something that I think is really cool because I got it up here. I got it up on the screen. I always have the movies playing on TV so I can make sure I don't miss anything for you guys. Like and subscribe if you're having fun so far. Let me tell you, man, or let me ask you. I don't want to tell y'all that. Let me ask you, and I'm also asking you watching. What did you think about the gadgets, the James Bond like gadgets in this movie? Blake, I'm gonna let you go first.
I mean, I quite honestly, I was like, Mission Impossible took all of these. Like, that's actually what happened. Bro, like the gum, the shoes, like the shoes will always remind me of the gloves that Ethan Hunt had in Mission Impossible. Was it 4?
Yep.
Yeah. And he's like got a stick, and then one of them like dies. It's funny because one of the shoes like falls off, and she's like, "Don't gain any more weight." And I'm like, bro, then how did you get off at the end? I'm like, how did you get off the roof? I thought she said, "Don't gain no more weight." Why are you carrying somebody? What are you doing?
Right.
I had a lot of questions.
Those shoes had no people in them, and they fell.
Maybe this movie was produced by Scientology.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
We got the documents proved Scientology money paid for this movie.
We know that they paid for Tom Cruise's first movie with Nicole Kidman. They arranged their marriage. And they basically have been involved in him and John Travolta's movies since 1983. So, I mean, I'm just saying, all signs are pointing in that direction.
I already told you we got the document. I already told you.
All I want you to know is that I'm hearing people are saying this movie was ripped off at least 4 times. And that's just because they knew they could do it better. But great movie, but I could do it better.
Yes, it's a very weird line for a movie to walk. I can't think of another movie that we've talked about on here since that has so much influence from other movies like James Bond and even like the Mission Impossible series,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like all that whole teen era, and also influencing all these other movies like we mentioned, Kingsman, Spider-Man, Mission Impossible.
Saying that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is that movie that influenced a whole bunch of other movies. Obviously, like this one.
Well, I'm also influenced, but was influenced by other movies. That's what I mean. Like this was influenced by James Bond, but also influenced a whole bunch of other movies afterwards. It's a weird combination where they're trying to steal from another thing, but then it ends up.
And then they just steal from the thing that stole from the thing, and you're like, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
help me out on it.
I would more so, because this is a comedy, and it went so far into the comedy side, like Blake was saying, I would consider this more of a parody than I would.
Yeah, but they didn't like that. They didn't lean like I.
No, they did not lean into it. No.
Yeah, I watched like a Leslie Nielsen movie, and I'm like, "There's a parody," and I know what I'm getting myself into. He's a complete goofball. He doesn't know. Like, if he did this movie, I'd be like, totally. Even if they put his old ass in high school, I'd be like, totally believable.
Right.
Like Leslie Nielsen was just that age when he was in high school.
Yeah.
Well, see, I definitely would feel the same way, but like, I definitely do feel the same way, but I just feel like it wasn't too much that they needed to dial back. They only needed to dial back a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, if old girl caught the scorpion down her back, it didn't need to be like as long as it went on. You know what I mean? Like, especially
that did go on for a really long time.
Yeah, especially if you're just gonna blow her up at the end. Like, that did not need to last that long. She ain't gonna have we just trying to give her more time on screen because she looks good. That's basically what happened.
I mean, and it's that same bit too, where it's like there's a sound, somebody hears it, and then they're like, they make their own conclusion. So it reminds me of like, I'll even throw in another one that may have influenced Austin Powers, right? Like the Austin Powers, when the dude's like, he's like, who does number 2 work for?
Yeah.
And then Tom Arnold's in the other style, he's like hitting him. He's like, that's right, buddy. You give him hell. You show that turd who's boss. Right.
Yeah,
like, that whole bit of like, oh, the one person can't see it, and they're the straight person, but like what's really going on is this whole other thing. And so like that's immediately what I thought of. I'm like, oh, like, yeah, that makes sense. I've seen this, but I've seen this bit before, so maybe it's not as funny if I had never seen any of these movies and like saw this movie.
Yeah. And even you saying that, it reminds me of the opening of The Spy Who Shagged Me. And I feel like it had a very similar moment to this movie. Here, I'm just pulling it up. I don't even remember, but let's skip a little bit.
Well, all we have to do is talk.
It doesn't have the same parody vibes of like a Spy Hard or Naked Gun.
Fuck that. There's a bunch of stealing going on in here. We're not gonna sit back and stand for this shit no more. And you know what? We're working on another series where we're gonna expose all you people who have stolen from another television series or a television series for the last 30 years. So we're gonna bring that up.
Alex doesn't even know what the hell you're talking about.
He knows what I'm talking about. He knows what I'm talking about. He's just wondering why I'm not saying it right. but we're not gonna say it because it's special. But this was obviously ripped off a lot, and we can't stand for it no more.
I can't stand no more.
This is, regardless if it holds up or not, this was totally ripped off.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of plagiarism, and it's weird, even in like just what we were talking about, the influence on both tales being influenced by and influencing other movies. it's weirdly less popular than all of them. Like,
Right.
No,
this
it's
is
way
this
less
is when
popular.
like you hear a song and you're like, this song bangs, but it's like sampled and you don't know what the original sample is, and it was some like
Right.
obscure like 1966 song by like some band that had like 2 albums and then they never did anything, and so you don't know who they are. Like, this is the extent of that. Like, because of this, like, people sampled from this, and then like you're like, oh, that's such a clever idea, and they're like, he, we stole it from Richard Grieco. Yeah.
Yeah, you love Bootylicious, but you never heard of Stevie Nicks. Yeah.
Right. Stop that. We've all heard of Stevie. You stop that.
I have a question.
That's it. No, I'm just kidding.
Do French people drive on the same side of the road as Americans?
That is a good question.
Hold on. I'm asking Blake.
I'm gonna go with no, because doesn't all
Right?
Europe don't drive on the they drive on the other side because they're weirdos. So-
Right. I'm gonna let Alex look it up right now, but let me just tell you something. Every single scene where they're driving, everybody's driving with the steering wheel on the left-hand side of the car.
Yeah, they filmed it in like Indianapolis or something.
Okay, apparently, yeah, the French drive on the right side of the road, like
Wow.
most European countries. If you're hiring a car and hadn't driven on the right before, you will have to get used to the steering wheel being on the left hand.
So
side
in
of the
other European countries, they do not drive on the right-hand side of the road. But in France, they drive on the right-hand side of the road.
Yeah, but it still doesn't explain why the European, like, because all the cars should still have the cars on the left-hand side. Or
no, not if you're driving on the other side of the road. It definitely makes sense if you're driving on the other side of the road, but that's not what we're here to debate. What we're here to talk about is this is something that took place in the movie, and I was like, yo, they didn't film this in no France. All of the damn cars is on the fucking right side of the road. This doesn't make any sense.
You got to make those budget cuts somewhere.
But we were wrong about that. Another thing that we were wrong about, and they got it right. Like, I thought there were going to be all kind of continuity issues in this movie, but there weren't a lot of continuity issues in this movie. Like, old dude, his Michael Corbin's best friend's hat flies off when they're like on the little bus tour, and I am segueing into something, so don't get it twisted.
Good, because I want to segue into something with that little weirdo.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
I
talked about the weirdo, I'm sure.
But he like holds his head out the window, and the whole hat flies off. His whole fucking Mets hat flies off. Which, by the way, he's wearing. If I'm not mistaken, he was wearing a Mets hat, and they're from Detroit. I was very upset about that.
Yeah, why not a Tigers hat?
Why not a Tigers hat? Let's put it in the comments if I'm wrong. Was he wearing a Tigers
You don't have
hat?
to like where you're from. Listen, I'm raised in Austin. I don't like the Cowboys or the Houston Texans. When I was a kid, I was a Green Bay Packer fan. So,
well, I will say this right now: you can root for the Houston Texans because D'Amico Ryans is the head coach, and I played against him in high school baseball, Birmingham, Alabama, and he went to the University of Alabama and played linebacker. So roll Tide. But anyway, oh wait, I'm wearing an Alabama shirt. Anyway, I just had to get that out. Producer Penny is being really rambunctious right now, but I just wanted to point out that what was going on the bus. Like, the bus is its own character in this movie. And so they stop. The first thing they do is their tour guide, bus driver. For those who don't know, most times when you go in a big group for school, you get a tour guide. They drive you around. They take you to your destinations. And you're very well aware of where you're going and where you're supposed to stop and rest. These are common things. But for those who don't know, this is how it's supposed to work. In this movie, the bus driver goes to go pee and gets clocked in the head with a tire iron and fucking somebody 2 feet taller than him wearing basically the same jacket. Even though he didn't take the dude's jacket, he's wearing a jacket that's 2 feet too small for him to be wearing.
Yeah, it's so weird.
And he's wearing the Grinch's outfit or some shit. Like, he's wearing the Grinch's jacket. Like, it's too tiny for this big German French guy.
Size
This dude
is
dude was clearly German.
Yeah.
But he was speaking in French.
Yeah, it's like, this is Pierre, you're German. Bus driver.
Dude, it was so wild. That was wild. And then he gets killed and somebody else takes over.
And before I get your take on this, Blake, I just want to bring up again another similarity with Spider-Man Far From Home. The bus gets hijacked. This is another
why don't you just bring them all up?
I mean,
we're already doing it.
I'm saying, yeah, just go ahead and show them all because we're already
doing it.
Yeah, we're already doing it.
Yeah, buses hijacks. Buses hijacked. Villain attacks the students.
Oh, that's crazy.
Different suits stored in the back of the vehicle. He's on fire. I mean, that's kind of a stretch. Villain gives a toast. Yep, for sure.
Okay, reach again. Another reach. Villains give toast in every.
Yeah, that's true. That's just like a villain thing.
Yeah.
Betrays henchmen in the third act.
Also, action movie trope.
Hero can walk on a wall.
Not a hero trope. not an action movie trope. That was definitely ripped off.
Everyone has questions about the true nature of the events, and I guess that's the last one. But yeah, these are all of.
Take a snapshot if you want. We're not going to play all this, but shout out to this dude. What was his name again? Hold on, I'm going to pull up his YouTube stuff because I definitely want to give people their credit where credit is due.
You got to give the credit's due.
Because he gave us the information, Couch Tea with a period at the end. Y'all go ahead and go check
That's
him
just
out.
Terry. That's just Terry. If we don't.
I'm subscribing right now. We just subscribed, so Couch Tea, don't fucking hit us with no copyright shit. We will fight it.
This is free promotion to all of our dozens of fans.
Yeah, man. And Couch Tea, come on to the show, man. Come on, talk some doesn't hold up with us.
Yeah, come on the couch and spill some tea.
So, I do also want to talk about the women in this movie.
Well, hang on. While we're still on the bus.
Well, no, this includes. Look,
I guess
I'm throwing you another layup because we got sidetracked, so I'm throwing it back up to you.
Bounce it.
What did you think of this very weird character? I couldn't find any clips of the guy himself, probably because YouTube is like, no, we don't endorse that. But what did you think of Richard?
I was watching this movie last night. I was working out of the gym, and I've been really on a bike kick. So I've been biking many miles on the bike, and I sort of scene, I had never seen this movie, and so the scene when Areola tries to fluff him up in bed or whatever, I'm like, I should probably shrink this in case I don't know what's going to happen, and in case people walk by, yada yada. Well, so I repop it up, and then the scene with this little fucking creep, breathing into her ear and started smelling her hair and tried to lick her ear, and I was like, "You're a fucking creep, my dude. That's not cool then. That's definitely not cool now, bro."
Yep.
I thought somebody needs to slap him or something. No, he gets away with it. He gets away with it.
Hold on, then this is where Bill comes in. See, I'm the historian on this show.
Historian ear licker. All right, let's talk.
No, I'm a historian on this show, and I will say now everything that you've just said, I 100% agree with, and you were 99.99999% correct. But where you missed is when you said that was not okay then. Oh, on contraire.
The 90s was a terrible time.
The 90s was a terrible time, and this is 1 year in. We talking about Rodney Kings, and we talking about what's the Supreme Court? No, the Supreme Court dude. What's his name? The black dude.
Oh, Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas hearing with Henrietta Lewis was his name? Yeah. We talking about the age of disgusting. I don't want to say the word vape. That's what I say on this show. Disgusting vape culture men all throughout everything.
Yeah,
you didn't have to go to the 50s to get Mad Men, whenever the fuck Mad Men was supposed to be in. You didn't have to go that far. You could have just gone to 1991 and girls was getting slapped on the butt in office at that time. So I just wanted to just say for the record that the 90s was a fucked up, terrible time.
90s was fucked up. And it was
so again,
weird no, go ahead.
It happened, but it doesn't mean that it was okay. That's all I'm saying. It happened doesn't mean it's okay.
Yes.
That's all.
General consensus at the time would have been it was okay. I'm just saying that.
But yeah, it's genuinely just terrible things.
It's a terrible thing. I'm just giving clarity for the time, and not to say that it was okay. I'm just telling you it was a terrifying time.
Yeah,
it was okay to chop a motherfucker in half back in the 1500s. You know what I'm saying? But it was a terrible time.
Yeah, it's so weird because this doesn't even need this doesn't
be in the
movie
story
at all. Yeah, this scene doesn't do anything for the plot, and it's weird because at the beginning of the movie, his hang around homeboy is already annoying. Is he's got these weird reaction shots to
I didn't
just
loving. Really at the beginning.
I just thought it was annoying the way that they shot him because they had these
they had him in weird.
Yeah, gave him very prominent shots on his reaction shots to everything cool Michael Corbin was doing.
To the point where you thought where he would be more prominent in the movie.
Right. Yeah, he was gonna be his Ned or whatever.
Right.
Spider-Man Far
his
guy in the chair.
Ned, his guy in the chair or his Watson.
Right, yeah.
It's Watson even.
But it's so weird because they kind of they set up sort of a attraction with Michael and the blonde girl from his class, and then
he says, "But no, the way. Let's just say how the way he sets it up, because Michael Corbin and him are going down an escalator, in which this black dude is looking right at the camera right now. I just want to point that out. I'm sorry, old buddy, whoever you are. I know you're watching this because, of course, you're looking up things on the only movie you were in, but." Michael says, "Oh, you like her? You can have her."
Right. It's that he's picking up some Skittles at Walmart. You can have some.
Man, old girl loves you. He was like, "What? You like her? You can have her." He just threw the girl thing. I'm gonna just throw this girl to you right now. That was really 90s culture behavior. It was disgusting, but I'm just telling you, this is what this is the era of the Freaknik.
I'm really surprised by the end because he's the kid who throws Michael Corbin the gun. I'm really surprised he didn't just turn into the girl and be like, "Fucking kiss me, okay?"
Right, yeah. Or just kiss her. That's another thing that was in movie tropes back in the day.
Kiss a girl.
You just grab a girl and kiss her because you've been talking to her for 90 minutes.
Right, yeah. That's how all of that works.
There's no establishment of a relationship because even though it's obviously has this very weird comparison between Ned and Homegirl in Far From Home where they develop a relationship while they're on vacation, there's no conversations between them except the one where the dude is dripping
shaving? Why is he shaving?
I have no idea.
Hold on, why? Hold on. Why? Because you asked a great question, Blake. Why is this motherfucker shaving? No. You've already asked the question, so what I'll say is he's shaving either with whipped cream or shaving cream, but he drink out of the cup that he's dipping his hair and shaving cream or whipped cream in. I just want to tell y'all something. This is also indicative of the 90s because this is what made white boys crazy. Nobody was saying, "White boy crazy. Them white boys crazy." Nobody was saying that in the 70s and the 50s. You know when they were saying that? 1990 to 2023. That is how long they've been saying it. It hasn't been that long, though. Not as long as y'all think.
Yeah, it's funny because won't you get an infection if you shave the way he's been doing, he was doing there? It's you're just putting dirty water and
I don't know. I mean, if you cut yourself, you may get an infection. I just was, if it's whipped cream.
Maybe. If it's whipped cream, for sure, you shouldn't be putting that much sugar on your face.
He at least gonna break out later.
Facts.
I do have to ask, since Blake is he's the shaved coif man of our group
generation
of nerds. So I will ask him, have you ever shaved with whipped cream?
I have not. That might be a new experience I need to try, but I think there's different things in life I've never tried. Like,
would you be up to doing it?
Crack is one of those things, right? I have no
okay.
interest in doing crack. I have no interest in shaving with like, the little whipped cream. I just want to put that in my mouth. I don't even think it'd make it to my face, quite honestly.
The only time I've had whipped cream on my face is when it won't fit into my mouth.
Right. And then you kind of like scoop it in like that,
Well, I will ask him off pod if he's willing to do it for the channel. So anyway, as we move on,
yeah,
let's talk about one of my favorite characters, and we're going to get into MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
One of my favorite characters, and I'm not naming my MVP right this second, but one of my favorite characters is the French teacher. She was getting on my goddamn nerves. She was getting on my goddamn nerves at the beginning of the movie. But I gotta say,
full 180 by the end.
She redeemed herself at the end. Yes,
she really did. And she's Annette Bartlett. She's one of my favorite just character actors.
He did call her out at the beginning, and there's no reason to really put her in there. Make me read her name at the fucking beginning of this episode. Not at all.
She was like, top 6 build or whatever. But yeah, I did definitely put her in there.
Top 6. Who does? Put it in the comments. Who does top 6? Who does a top 6?
Maybe the Expendables, baby.
It's top 5. It's top 10. I heard a top 15. I ain't never heard of a top 6. Put it in the comments.
But yeah, she definitely she had a really great performance in this. Obviously very annoying at the beginning.
But I guess that's what she's supposed to be.
Yeah, she's definitely supposed to be.
It's like Hayden Christensen.
I get that name wrong every time.
I do. Look, man, white people, I'm sorry.
All white people sound alike.
No, not they all. I just don't choose to remember your names. And that is not racism. It's just how my brain works. I'm sorry.
It's just facism. That's it.
It's facism. It's facism. Hey, look, if iPhone can be racist, brain can be racist.
Think about
Need to get you an upgrade, my dude. Need to get you an
I'm
upgrade.
I'm working on it. I got a new SIM card, so I'm good.
But yeah,
hold on. Because we don't need to stay on her too long. She was a French teacher. Unless you're going to talk about the element of the spy part, like how the UK, like MI6.
I think you just wanted to show her off.
Oh no, yeah, I was just going to show this clip real quick.
Just go ahead and show. Yeah. Well, I will. Hold on, before you show the clip, I will set it up because MI6 thinks that she is a spy. They think that she is a operative that is going
like a leader of mercenaries.
A leader of mercenaries because they do some intel, and there is a spy from pre-Cold War era.
Yeah,
like, why do you think that this lady in 1991 is a pre-Cold War era French teacher that was also operating as a spy in the UK? That does not make any sense.
Yeah, the intelligence factor of this movie is very loose,
unintelligent,
right? Yeah. And the least intelligent person in this movie pointed that out.
Yeah,
he is the only and Michael Corbin pointed out that the MI6 needs to work out they shit.
Yeah, and everybody's just so dumb, and and to your point, Blake, it feels like it goes too close to the parody line. Because it feels like they're trying to do something like nowadays. Like this is very much a Chris Pratt type character who's kind of a dum-dum, but is like also comes out on top. Or even like Captain Jack Sparrow, where he's like just like seems silly, but always comes out on top, and he's an underdog. But they just make everyone, not just Michael Corbin, everyone so goddamn stupid. It's like, how do you not understand what's going? How do you not know that this person is not a secret agent? How do you not know that this person is not a mercenary?
And it's like, it's like again, the only straight people, the straight shooters in the movie are the intelligence agencies, and then even then they're like, the kid's like, I'm in high school, and they're like, high school, I remember that operation, and you're like, no, have you ever heard of the word like high school? Like, you can't be that dense, my dude. Like,
right? Anything prom date? I remember that.
Yeah. Anything else that I could possibly be talking about? If that's not what I'm talking about, do you want to possibly search your brain for anything else?
You have to have. I think you just have to have like. You have to have the straight shooters, but they have to like be intelligent. Otherwise, like none of this works.
Yeah.
And so, like to have everybody just be it's like essentially just a knucklehead and sort of just like, I'm so lucky that like I'm just sort of gonna make this through, and I'm gonna get to the end. And you can't have everybody doing that. That doesn't. It's silly. It's silly.
Now, to your point about everyone being stupid in this movie. See how I bring things back around.
Ooh.
Why were all of the women in this movie so dumb?
Yeah, all the women were dumb.
Like,
also there was
no. Yeah. I already answered my other question. I just answered that question earlier.
1991.
Remember the 90s?
Yeah, it's weird because there are a surprising number of female characters, and they're
what? That's actually good.
Yeah, Linda Hunt, Annette Burnett, Bartlett, and what's her name who plays the love interest. There's actually a lot of female characters. Yeah, and Ariola.
Ooh,
a lot of opportunities.
I was gonna see one.
A lot of opportunities to break the Bechdel test, but they do not. It's still very like you said. It's not
the
really
strongest female character in this movie falls for the dumbest motherfucker in this movie, and so that's not how it should be. She should be like, hit me when you grow up, boy, and that's it. And also, they never explain how old she is.
They don't.
Is this statutory type situation? Oh, well, he just grew up. He just graduated.
So he's
probably at least 17 at the very least, and that's legal in California and Michigan. So, and in London, in UK, I think it's like 15, 16. So,
yeah, I think you had to be 7.5 to start like legally.
They were in France, and in France is 14, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's absolutely true. Put it in the comments if I'm not true, but I'm absolutely positive that's the real deal.
I think we just need a poll right now. It's a sex age. Does it hold?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It does not.
Not outside of the United States of America. We have the oldest age limits for that.
R. Kelly is listening to this and he's just like, yeah, Bill, tell him the facts.
No, I am saying it. No, R. Kelly is like, man, you messing up my whole situation. Because I am saying that France, y'all are messing up.
Yeah, R. Kelly's like, age ain't nothing but a number. Like,
yeah, and if y'all wonder why this gets blocked in France, if you're watching on a VPN from France right now, this is the reason it got blocked.
But I will say, before we get into the MVPs, I was very curious of what y'all's favorite scenes of the movie.
Your favorite scene.
Funny moment, a cool action moment. Blake, I'll let you go first.
Oh yeah, just put me on blast. I will say that the beginning little James Bond part, I was like, oh, this is like interesting because it's not like he's not a half bad agent, and then he dies, and I was just like, what are they gonna? And I was like, no way, they're gonna make him the. All right, and then I think probably like the little car chase scene that was fun, like just to be like, dude, this looked like people may have died or could have died. Like, this is, I don't know how I feel about this. And then everything else was just sort of like, I wanted to text y'all, but I didn't want to tell y'all my thoughts. I wanted to be like, what kind of movie did you make me watch to do the show? Like,
well, I think you put in the chat. I'm watching this. I'm near the end of this monstrosity.
Yes, and I have many words.
Words. I think that was the quote, and I'm just doing it from memory. I don't mean to paraphrase, but I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that, and then the first class scene because they're like, oh, do you want like lobster prime rib? Or when I'm like, bro, they don't have this is the things that they exaggerate in this movie. I'm like, I don't know if the 80s were a better time to live in, but like none of this exists now. Like,
this is written by a guy who's never ridden first class.
No. As a historian, they definitely used to serve that kind of food.
Oh, it used to be lit like that?
And also, riding planes was way better in the 70s, 80s, and 90s than it is now. Before 9/11, riding on a plane was not business. It was leisure. And even before the 80s, it was even more leisure because only rich people could do it.
Right.
They had less seats, so they had more space. And also they served meals. And the kicker, the most important thing, you could smoke cigarettes.
Yeah. Right. That was the good old days.
The good old days, baby. The good old days.
Every once in a while, you get on a plane that's like, if you get on a plane and you see the armrests have like the
little cigarette
ashtrays,
holder.
Yeah, it's like,
but
but
it won't
old is this plane?
But it won't open though. They've
they've
welded every one of them shut. Like as if someone's gonna be able to sneak a cigarette. Just let me sneak in one burner real quick on the plane. Like no one's gonna notice that.
Also, who let all the
to leave? No,
who let all the peasants on the planes nowadays? Like, bro, like go home. Give me more leg space, bro. Like,
well, yeah. That's what happened with the 80s in the consumer culture. They gave everybody less leg space so they could fit more people on a plane.
This is true.
And blase, blase, blase. Actually, I don't know if you remember back in the 90s, you used to get on a plane and they had the movie at the front of the plane. And so
on the big screen.
On the big screen, yeah. So many things have changed now. Guess what? You got all that with your ticket, guys, and you didn't pay for extra baggage. These things are true. Ooh, back in the day. But
if you guys want to tune into our podcast called Back in the Day,
you can catch us Back in the Day with Bill. Yeah.
Back in the Day with Bill.
I guess it should be called Back in My Day. That'd be better.
No, that's actually taken, so we won't even mention who was taken by. Dan Lebitard Show. Shout out to them. Anyway, my MVP.
Oh, no, wait. Sorry, no.
It was favorite scene. You asked me favorite scene. I didn't even. I was like, we're doing MVP.
Oh,
favorite
sorry.
Scene?
Excuse me. My favorite scene.
Yes.
Hello. My favorite scene is this one right here. Sorry, we couldn't bring up yours in enough time because I wasn't thinking.
It's okay. Yeah, I'll come back.
Listen, it is very important. I must entrees. I must find that girl.
Face.
Oh, monsieur, c'est tout à fait impossible. Vous ne pouvez pas entrer comme ça. Faut changer de vêtements.
Oh, no, not French.
Oh, no, not French. I'm in
English?
French.
Monsieur, what I said is that you look like a piece of adolescent American dog shit.
I did also like the scene because this actor is clearly American and doing like the most put on French accent.
I don't know that he's American. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I don't know that he's American.
Yeah, maybe he's just French and he's just playing it real big, but I did really like this actor.
Maybe he's French and he can't speak no English. Like he really.
Oh, he can. He can polyboost some English right
there.
Dog shit. Change your clothes.
And that's when it comes in with the clean shit.
And this was a good element that I really liked. I really liked the fact that they played up the spy part. To me, this is the only time that the spy element is really played up. I mean, other than the car chase with the little toys and everything. Other than that, I didn't feel like this was like a spy movie. It almost turned into a like Sylvester Stallone movie towards that. I guess.
Yeah, it was by the end. I thought it was Die Hard, and I was like, all right.
Yeah. Actually, so glad you mentioned that.
You're welcome.
Blake out here throwing up lobs. Is lobs sitting up in here at the Drunk Banthas? Because let me tell you, man, when Michael Corbin and old blonde girl, Blade's daughter, when they finally find his classmates, they go through a vent, and just like in Die Hard, and when they're crawling through the vent, she flicks the lighter,
right,
and they're going through just like Die Hard.
Yeah, and we also mentioned that the music is very Die Hard.
Oh no, the music was Die Hard. They played
straight
the
up
score,
Die Hard.
and I'm so glad you said that because we haven't mentioned the score yet.
Yeah.
The score rips off every action movie from 1986 till 1991.
Yeah,
they rip off every single one of them, and it's in the moments that they've ripped off that movie. So all of the ones that have ripped off this movie, like they had original ideas, but this movie ripped off all the score from the other movies. It's such a crazy thing.
It's a weird thing where the copy of a copy is better than the original.
Is that math? Is that math? Like a negative plus a negative?
Two negatives. Yeah, if you multiply negative with a negative, it's positive.
Yeah, that's a rule in maths.
It's movie maths.
Movie maths.
But yeah, that
What's your favorite scene?
I would probably say my favorite scene is the ending. It's another scene where I couldn't find
like when the end credit comes. That's my favorite scene.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He was like, "Oh yeah, I liked how the credits was in a good font. The font reminded me of RoboCop, so I liked it."
Actually, the font is one of my least favorite parts of the movie because I thought it was hilarious.
I told you he ain't watched. Listen to it. No, I'm joking.
But I couldn't find the clip. But the ending scene where it is very, very Die Hard, where like the helicopter crashes on the roof and then it's like spinning out of control and it's chasing.
Practical effect of that was cool.
It was pretty good. Yeah, it was like the
talking about the whole mansion blowing up.
When the propeller of the plane though, or the helicopter is like spinning toward the door. I was like, I don't know how they shot this, but that's a nice practical effect.
It was a great practical effect. It was probably no bigger than your entire body.
From the way I can tell,
like seriously, no, yeah.
From the way I could tell, just after watching a bunch of Corridor Crew and just being super analytical.
Shout out to Corridor Crew. Shout them out, but not Couch T.
Shout out Couch T.
I mean, you wasn't gonna.
Okay, but anyway,
I love you, Couch T.
Yeah, we love you with all our hearts and souls, Couch T. But yeah, like it looks like they had like miniatures, of the propeller stuff, and they just like composited it with the live action of Richard Grieco and Homegirl running, and it was kind of pretty good.
Well, I don't think they were running like I think they just gave us a shot of one and then gave us another one, and you just.
Well, there was one shot where you could see the propeller running behind them. That was like the most impressive shot to me. I was like, "How are that's probably just really good."
That's just probably a replacement of that.
However they did it, however they did it, it was coming toward them, and I was like, "Dude, like there's Hollywood movies that look way more fake than this with all the CGI."
Yeah, absolutely. I mean. The director for this movie is a great director. He just had jumped out the window on a different genre. This is not his genre.
Yeah.
But the way everything looks, I mean, everything looks great in this movie. I mean, this movie is what you want your movie to look like. If you turn all the music off, turn off everything, dialogue, just put it on mute. And you watch this movie in 1991.
That's a good looking movie.
Oh, you're like, yeah, this movie looks great. What's it about again? No.
What happens?
No. We shouldn't watch. We shouldn't put this out.
And before we get to the vote, which I'm very excited to see how everybody feels about this.
Who's the real MVP?
Who's the real MVP?
Who's the real MVP?
Blake, who is your MVP of this movie?
You the real MVP.
I was gonna go with Richard Grieco because we both have great hair,
undeniably.
But I think it has to be the little lady with the chain to be whipping everybody. I was like, bro, like it's just so unassuming, like out of nowhere, just slashing everybody with the gold whip, and then like she grabbed it at one point, and he's like, "No, don't do that." Like, and I'm like, "Oh, she ready to go. She always ready to kill somebody too." So like, I don't know. Like, she gets the MVP on this one. She clearly like bossed the French teacher lady in the plane. Like, she was like, "Listen, you're gonna shut the fuck up and stay here, and I'll be back." And
she
like,
made her lock the damn door. Yeah. She's like, I'm not coming out of this for 12 hours. We'll take
never
a nap
ever
on this toilet.
And I like how I love how she came out and was like, because Blade's daughter, we can't ever remember her name, but Blade's daughter was like, "You killed my father" to Augustus, and then Augustus was like, and then the little girl Linda Hunt came out and she was like, I killed your father, bitch. Like,
that was
you
a
got
great
it
moment.
twisted. This nigga couldn't kill nobody. I killed your daddy.
It's just like a Jerry Springer episode, right? Like, so apparently, listen, we have the lady that killed your father. We're gonna bring her on out here right now.
So you're saying that he killed your father. Well, it looks like we have someone out here who says that they killed your father. Linda Hunt, come on out.
Oh,
man. So I just want to point out my MVP.
Yeah, who's your MVP of the
I don't know if you can pull this up. It's right here. A little spoiler.
I think I can. It might be in
If
this.
you could just pull up the whole movie on YouTube, then it just,
YouTube doesn't like it.
Will not
Oh.
So they don't. Let me just point out. Let me say that. I don't know if this is the free ones too.
It's the free ones too.
Yeah. So even when we are sharing the screen, if we're recording, YouTube doesn't like us to show their YouTube movie, but we can play the clips from other clips
sources
that are on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, my MVP doesn't have a name in the movie, if I'm not mistaken. May not even be credited. Definitely has to be credited somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it's the cross-dressing man at the baklava. What y'all say?
The baklava.
The baklava table.
Baraka.
The Baraka table. And I think he got it pulled.
Baccarat.
No, it won't pull up.
Oh no,
it doesn't go that far in the.
Yeah,
when he screams, when he looks, he looks.
Yeah, he looks over. He's like, that was definitely my favorite scene because he looks over and realizes with his X-ray glasses, he looks over, ladies and gentlemen, for those who haven't seen.
Or for those that don't have X-ray glasses, you can do this.
You may not know, but he looks over and is looking at everybody butt naked. He sees Areola butt naked. And he's like, "Oh, if she had that arm right there, though, I can see them areolas." And then he looks over at this brown head bob queen down the way and giving him the yoo-hoo.
Little yoo-hoo eyes.
This lady ain't got her arms on her yoo-hoos, so let me look over there, and it's a dude, and that shit was hilarious, man. Like, I mean, this is a cross-dresser gay person in a 90s movie that's not just depicted in a negative way. I think this is a win on this. This is a W for a 1991 movie who had a dude trying to like face rape a girl. Face vape a girl.
Yeah, that was like a pretty funny moment.
But that's my MVP though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's my MVP.
Great performance. That's 5-star.
That got you though. It got you. Like, I mean, what actor in this movie had that few seconds in the movie and still
made an impact? Yeah. Definitely not his best friend, I will say.
No.
Yeah, my favorite is, or my MVP is probably Blake. You already mentioned your MVP, right?
Yeah, the little lady with the chain.
Thanks for
Linda
listening.
Linda
Thanks
Hunt,
for participating, Alex. Thanks.
No, I just want to make sure I'm not saying the same person.
No, I'm just joking.
But yeah, my favorite, my MVP is probably Richard Reese. I do really like him. What I know him most from, because I'm a big old nerd, is The West Wing. He just like played a recurring character on there, where he's very much not this character. He's kind of like a Captain Jack Sparrow type, where he's just like drunk all the time and very aloof. And him being so refined and just like he's playing this role really like hardcore. Like, I feel like he's playing it like serious as a heart attack, and it works for this movie, for like the cheesiness and the campiness of it. So I really liked his performance in this, and I felt like he played off of Linda Hunt really, really well. I thought that their relationship was so weird, and I really enjoyed it.
If I'm not mistaken, he was in more serious roles before this, like during the early 80s and late 80s. This dude had a 10-year career by this time, playing stoic roles, very similar to the one he played.
Yeah, again, Robin Hood Men in Tights. He played Sheriff Nottingham, and like,
Yeah,
exactly.
He was. It's a hilarious movie, but he's the straight bad guy in it.
Right.
Like always, like Robin, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and like
Right.
Robin's like, oh, you can't catch me, and then like I think I immediately when I thought about the archetype of his character, I'm like, yeah, he's like this British dude. He's a bad guy, and like he has his like, you know, friend is like this little short lady, and like the same thing in Robin Hood Men in Tights, right? The little short lady who was the witch, like she was always trying to like get with him, you know?
Yeah,
So like I was
that's
just
a
like,
great point.
just
That's a great point.
pair him with the British short lady in every movie, and like it'll be a fantastic role.
Right.
You know, and he's
And I
funny.
think
He
it's on-
probably got. Sorry, no, I didn't mean to cut you off, but he probably got this role off of this movie because
Right.
Robin Hood Men in Tights got. Yeah, I was saying, like Robin Hood Men in Tights came out in 1993, and this came out in 91. So maybe,
Yeah,
Mel
that's
Brooks
the-
saw If Looks Could Kill. Was like, oh, he'd be really good for this movie.
I mean, it's just he might not have seen it. It's just a juxtaposition from what he played in his entire career. That's why our mother loved him before this movie and before Robin Hood Men in Tights. It's because he had been playing such a straight shooter his whole life. He's a character actor from television and movies. I'm sure he's in a Quincy episode.
Oh yeah, I think he is. Yeah,
so
he's one of those character actors who really good as that like like that fourth or fifth build actor. But he could lead his own movie if he wanted to because he's just so good.
Yeah, independent movie in London. But let me tell y'all something. I know y'all got that. You laugh. Take the applause break right there, y'all. But anyway, I told a joke that you didn't hear, but they heard it. They heard it. No, what I was gonna say is, dude is a phenomenal actor. I definitely seen him in Quincy. Don't nobody try to ask us why we know about Quincy. Like Quincy, if you don't know Quincy would coldest that's a doctor's Perry Mason, right?
Yeah.
That's a doctor's Perry Mason. That's who he is. Check out Quincy. I just had to shout out Quincy.
I feel like they've probably made some lesser version of it on NBC called like The Medicine Man or some crazy shit.
Oh no, the interpreter or some shit like
Yeah.
that. The Medicine Man is good. Actually, I would watch The Medicine Man. I could be an
NBC producer. I have that many bad ideas. But
CBS. You could be CBS. But relax.
But guys, like we could probably honestly talk about this movie for 3 more hours. But
only because we have so many other bad things to say.
So many thoughts.
We said all the good things about this movie. Actually, we could talk about the bad things for another hour and a half.
But is that time of the show where we ask the question?
What question?
Does it hold?
Oh.
That is right. That is right. At the end of every episode, we vote on whether this movie stands the test of time. And as per usual, it is the guests of honor's pleasure to go first.
I gotta make a song for that. Does it stand the test of time? Something like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a nice jingle type of song.
Just play it right here. Does it stand the test of time?
Put it in the comments if you want a theme song for the vote.
And if you already got one, send it to us.
Yeah, please do. We like not doing any work. But Blake, what is your vote for it? If Looks Could Kill.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up. I should have never watched this movie. Like, it's don't watch it out. This is not one of those movies where like it's like, oh, it's just so bad, you got to watch it. Don't watch it. It's like, no, it's not that. It's not so bad that you're like, you watch and you're like, I mean, there's some. It's like when you ever seen those dogs where you're like, that dog is so ugly, and people are like, but I love the little ugly cute dogs. This is not right. This is not one of those dogs. This is not a good looking dog either. Don't if you never saw this movie, you would make it in life just fine not watching this movie. I wasn't sure what I was watching. It's a you know what? If like you have to watch like a 90s movie for like a fun group thing, and it's like obscure 90s movies, I guess pick this one. But like, it's not my favorite. I don't think it holds up. And there's fun moments in it though, but I don't think it holds up at all. So that's that's my vote. That's my vote.
Well, y'all heard it here first.
Heard it here first.
Money, Blake. Weather. He told you.
Mhm.
That's vote.
Whether you like it or not,
Mhm.
it don't make money for him. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you right now.
Put that on a
If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Okay.
If it don't make money, don't bring it to Blake.
Oh man, I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt for sure. If it don't make sense, it don't make money. I'm gonna put that on.
What?
Money Blakeweather. If it don't make sense, SENSC doesn't make money.
He just flipped things around and act like he did it. That's a
I
very
feel like
Elon Musk.
We'll talk
thing
about
to
this
do.
offline.
That's a very Elon Musk move he just made right now. Oh, well, we'll do this.
Hey, that's very disrespectful.
Sorry, you did it. I didn't do it. You did it. I can't look. We just objective on this show. That's what we do. But no, what I can't be objective on, because there is no objectivity in what we say as far as the movies on this show.
Okay.
Because the question for you is,
Alex.
Does
it hold?
I will say, weirdly, I do feel like this movie holds up for me. If you take that creepy ass scene out of it, I still very much hate that scene where the dude's licking girl's ear on the bus. I just try to block that out.
I think he licked her face.
He stuck his tongue out. He never touched her body, but
he was like that close.
He blew in her ear.
Yes.
And then she opened her hair up.
Her ear to and then he's just like, oh, that's my entry point. And I'm like, no, that's not. Don't do that.
He's like, oh, she's into it.
It's like that guy who did
that was his metaphoric yes in his brain.
Like the dude who did the edit of Obi-Wan to like cut it down to where it only has like the best parts and it's still enjoyable, like as a movie. I kind of want to do that to If Looks Could Kill, because I feel like there's a good movie in here.
Right.
But
okay.
There's so many bad jokes and like weird like over sexualization that kind of pulls it back a little bit. But I'm kind of on the side of Siskel, where I feel like this is a movie where it's like it's kind of a guilty pleasure. It's fun. Like I get what they're trying to do. Weird things like the main characters drinking warm milk out of a gold chalice is just so
on
weird
a broke yacht. On a broke yacht, like a houseboat, not a yacht. Not a yacht.
Yeah, I think it's the same houseboat that they had in Hitch.
It's the same houseboat that Il Dos has. You know what I'm saying? This is the houseboat that Captain Ron had. Like this is,
right.
This is a terrible houseboat.
But for whatever reason,
same houseboat that was in. No, I'm sorry. I'm out of houseboat jokes. I'm just not gonna disrespect nobody else.
Yeah, shout outs to we give an apology to all the people with house,
especially Il Dos. I'm sorry,
but yeah, for whatever reason, this movie still evoked the same emotion when I was a kid. Whereas, like, this is fun. This is a fun movie about a kid who's being a James Bond type character. It's not perfect. It's not good at all, but it's still very fun. But I guess there's only one more question to ask, because there's like, I feel like there's a tie going on right now.
Christ, that's a fucking large ass gun. Sorry.
Oh, that is a very large.
Sorry, there's a scene in the movie, large ass gun that never gets used. By the way, never gets used.
But I guess it's down to you, Bill. There's only one more question to ask, which is ironically a question we've asked about 6 more times.
What? We have to ask it more times.
Oh, we asked it 6 times previously.
Maybe I missed it. What is the question?
The question is,
well, it's
does it hold?
Every time I do that, I feel like what's his name from What's Good Sports?
Oh, yeah, that's good sports.
He goes, Bendinucci. But does it hold up? I'm going to take a slight second to get there.
Okay.
Because, the fact is, this movie has elements that are ridiculous and also, like, great. Like, if we were kids in the 90s watching this movie, we look at it and we go, damn, I want to be a spy. Damn, I want to get a dope car. Damn.
I just want the hair. I just want the hair.
You already have the hair. No fair. Like, I want a hot lady named Ariola. Like, I like all those things. I want those things for myself. And also, we didn't mention it really too much. We touched on it a little bit, but like, Michael Corman is a great shot. This dude is shooting people behind walls. Yeah. He's shooting people like he was like sad to kill people at first, but then he just started killing people. Just murk.
And his kill count might be higher than anybody else.
I mean, it was a high rate, and he was very accurate. Didn't take long. It was only in the kill scene for like 10 minutes, but we just pointed out how many people have stolen from this movie as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they had a good thing. And you pointed out how they could have taken things and cut it out and made it to where this would have been like a pretty darn good movie.
Yeah. Like, I could see this being like actually remembered by people.
And I just realized that Ariola's eyes are purple. She has purple contacts in.
Oh,
that is crazy. I just saw that right now. So with all of that taken into account,
all of that.
Well, I mean, the purple eyes just came in extra. Y'all get that. Y'all get that extra. With all of that taken into account, I have to say, well, also, this movie did not hold up. This didn't hold up to nothing. Let me tell you though. Now, everything that we said, this movie could have been great. Now, this movie could have been great. You know how we know this movie could have been great? Because there's like 5-6 great movies that took from this movie and made good movies.
Yeah.
Like, good movie was possible here. And several artists realized it before we watched this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, they knew what the deal was. And it just begs you to wonder, like, why did this movie get made so terribly? I feel like that's a whole nother video that will have to be explored under drunk analysis, and probably this will have to be a drunk analysis movie.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, seriously, to answer those kinds of questions that we have about this movie, it's going to take deep dives on research that we didn't give a fuck about this movie enough to do on this show. It just doesn't hold up. Not that we didn't give a fuck. We love y'all, and we put everything into it. But for this show, was not necessary because we know what to do. I mean, now this got a 29% again on critic score and a 50% audience score. 1991, I don't think that's what I would give it. But 2023 is the date that we are recording this episode. I would give it a critical score. If I'm like looking at it critically, I'd probably give it a 63. Okay. And as a fan watching movies, I'd probably give it a 63.
All right.
Like, so
I'd probably give it like a solid 72.
Well, no, it doesn't matter what you give it. You already said it holds up. Blake, what would you give it?
I guess,
you said it holds up. That's basically that's anything like, over 30 or 50.
I was going to give it a 54, but I'm going to give it 5 more points because the scene where he's got the X-ray glasses and he sees the 8, and he's like, "Oh, I know how to draw an 8." Austin Powers. That's exactly how number 2, when he looks at the card, It's the exact like type of X-ray where you can see the card. And when he did it, when he had him on, I'm like, he better not do the number 2 thing from Austin Powers. And the exact way that they did is the exact way. I'm like, all right, cool, man. I'm with it. Like Austin Powers clearly took from this movie.
You know what? I'm raising my audience score to a 70. I'm not gonna lie. That's important. That kind of shit's important when it comes to does it hold up? Because does it hold up criteria is one of the main ones is, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but one of the main ones is, could I make this movie today? Can I make this movie today as it is and people enjoy it? And I'm not gonna lie, there's like a lot of stuff that we could use, you know, because of the criteria. It doesn't hold up to me because I can't use all of this movie and just put it right out and make the movie. But I could use a lot of this movie.
A lot of bits.
Yeah, I really want to have like a round table discussion with like the director of Far From Home, the director of Kingsman, the director of the first Mission Impossible movie,
and Couch T.
Did you guys watch it?
And Couch T. We gotta have Couch T in that same discussion because he's the one that blew the whole goddamn thing off the motherfucking crock pot.
Yeah, I was like, did you guys watch If Looks Could Kill? And was this a major influence that you will never tell anyone?
And don't lie, bitch, because we got the evidence. Because you know what? What we got, Blake?
We got the documents prove Austin Powers been stealing movie clips from they long time back. MK Ultra. Well, I'm gonna give it back to you guys, but we all know we got the documents prove. Lots of movies.
You heard it here first, guys. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's no way that we can do anything better than that right there.
Yeah. Our resident fact checker has closed it out. But Blake, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? You can find me, Money Blakeweather, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. You can find me in my other podcast, Unfiltered Bachelor, on your favorite podcast app. Is it iHeartRadio? Is it the Google Play? Is it the or is it just Spotify? Because it's on all the places. So go find.
Answer is yes.
The answer is yes to all of that. So go ahead and do that, or you can follow 9 Nerd Yards, or you can follow the collaboration of when 9 Nerd Yards and Drunk Banthas have a YouTube baby. It's called Nerds at Night. Bum, bum, bum.
That's right. Look in my hand right here. Look in here.
There's a baby growing in there, and it is Nerds at Night. If you haven't already followed the channel, we're moving a lot of our live content and just a lot of whatever we want to do there. Reactions. I just dropped a reaction maybe like 2 weeks ago of Murder on the Orient Express. So yeah, you can catch reactions. You can catch where our lives are going to be moving, everything else there. Thank y'all, everybody, for tuning in. And again, mainly probably for me, for the hair and just wanting my thoughts on this. Why not?
Absolutely.
Of course. I mean, like, Blake is definitely the MVP of this episode. And definitely check out Nerds and Nights. It's definitely
I'm never the MVP of the episode. I'm trying.
Always the MVP of my heart. That's what that is.
That's where I am.
Sweet.
I stay in the hearts of America, just like congenital heart disease.
Yeah. It's the number one killer of Americans. But yeah, guys, definitely check out Nerds at Night. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching the show. New episodes drop every other Monday at 4:20 a.m. Check us out on all social media platforms at The Drunk Banthas. Please like and subscribe. It's not required, but if you don't, you will not be invited to the cookout. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Peace.